I built a powerful basically games that can help share blessing to you. So this game, the purpose is for you to see the code, for you to basically see how, if you perhaps wanted to build the games as well, you can go ahead and try to build it for yourself. I will show you the code, and I will show you everything, the preview, everything that you will want to see. I will show you basically. And now basically I'm in VS Code now. VS Code, if you are basically wanted to download VS Code as well, if you don't have it in your computer, you can go ahead, basically go to Microsoft Store, and then and basically look for VS Code. Just search it here. Look for VS Code. Basically you will find a way to, yeah, this one guys. And this one, if you are basically wanted to download it, you can just, me, I already installed it, you see, and it's already in my computer, so I just want to show you how. And basically I will show you. I open the games. Yes, I open the games basically. Now I open it. So yeah, now basically I will basically the games is built using React front end. React is a JavaScript framework. So if you know JavaScript already, you are familiar with JavaScript, you will find React is pretty useful as well, and pretty good to build your project front end. And the game is a spinner. I will basically show you the preview of it. So I will show you the preview. It's basically a spinner. Basically, as you spin, you get blessing. Yeah, show you a preview. Yes, before the game, this is the game that I will show you basically how I built it. And you have to enter your name. Welcome to Positive Spinner. You have to basically enter your name. For example, whatever name you can enter. For example, I entered uh, Jean, something like that, whatever. And now you start the game. When you start the game, basically, and you have a default spinner. So the default is all about the blessing that already reading. That means the all the blessing that we already had for you, and you can as well add your custom blessing. For example, you create, I want, for example, I want to be blessed. For example, you create your blessing, and then this is a custom, so it will start by one. A custom, you add affirmation, and you will see it will add, and as you add, it will fill on, it will fill until everything is basically is already feel like the default one, you see. And what, how it works, the games is all about basically, as you spin, and you will receive blessing. And let's check it out. For example, I spin now, you see, I spin. Wow, now I will receive a blessing. Peace will fill your heart at and home. And basically I this is a very good game, a positivity spinner, right? Because basically, if you are who really wanted perhaps to basically receive blessing or affirmation to your life, you can just use the game, and then it's as easy as just spin and receive a blessing. And basically now you can save this journal. You save to journal, you save the blessing, and it will be saved in your local machine. And by the way, this game is built without server. That means everything is saved in your local computer, and you can check that by just press uh, basically console.log, and then you check in your local storage. You see everything will be saved in your basically in your local storage. That means there's no server that process information here for you, and everything basically, you see the name, player name is Jean, everything is saved in your local machine. And I hope this is a good demo. And yes, I will basically show you the code, basically how the game is built, and so you can learn. And if you wanted as well to have this kind of things going on in your project, you can reach out, and it's good. And let's go to VS Code now, basically to see all the code. Before we start to review the code, before I start to review the code with you, I wanted to show you a few things to keep in mind. I'm not here basically to tell you exactly how things should go. And there is so many different way you can build something when you coding or when you use whatever programming language that you're using. There's so many different way, and this particular way it works. And why it works? Because this is the how the I wanted the game to be built. And if perhaps you also know well how to build or to build games before, or you can approach building a game, you can do whatever you want. Okay, this is I just wanted to tell you. And the first file I wanted to go is in the whom.js. Whom basically is render. This is a component, and from the component tree, positivity spinner. That said, this is what whom is rendering. And if you're familiar with JSX, you see it's basically it's a div, and just render this component right here. And if you go to positive spinner, this is where the code is. That means it's really good if you are familiar yourself to how you could you could architect your project, because you don't want everything to be in one file. You don't want your project to be messed up. So what you want to do, you want to follow the good way of building of create a project, because you want to use component, you want to use an a basic structure of folder. It's help you. And yes guys, and the positivity spender component, this is all, this is the all the blessing that already reading for you. Constant default affirmation, all the affirmation. And we can add more if we want, but we found that that is enough, so it's good. And uh yeah, this is a mystery affirmation. That means that this is a really like the word it's already explained is a mystery. We just add this in extra sentences to the all the data that already reading. Those are basically because we build this game without a server or without external database. So those we just hard code those affirmation without needing to uh, pull them from an external database. So I hope you guys could understand. And state. And what is state basically? State is a really good management system to help you basically build with efficiency using React. State is a must learn. If you know React already, you know basically what you know how to use state as well use effect, because these two things are the main uh, main thing to do if you are using React. Let's say now basically what we do is we we define all the state that we wanted this game to have. Yes, that is very important. We wanted it to rotate. You see, constant rotation, set rotation, and we basically give it a value as 0. And spinning, we set it to false. Why? Because at the start of the game, and there is the spinner, it's not spinning. That means it makes sense to be false at the start. And selected affirmation, and we set it to null. Yeah, this is makes sense as well, because at the start there is no player that in first. At the start you have to write your name first, and after that you go to try to spin to receive affirmation. I This is makes sense. History empty, journal empty, player name empty. A player name, sorry, player name basically we process it with local storage. This is what we did. For example, if basically you want to check if there is a name that was saved in the local storage, and this is a pretty useful thing if you're basically building stuff with local storage. You want to get a item, you want to basically see if there is a name already exists, and if there is a name you display that name. If there it's null, and so there is no name, that means, and you check that first. And name input, yeah, this is you set it to empty quote. So the game is built and using basic good structure as well. And the most important thing about programming, when you're programming, like, it's thinking. You have to think, you have to basically see yourself like someone that is what I'm doing, is it like logical? Or always one thing that is very important as well, testing. You have to not only you do stuff, you have to test it if it works. And otherwise, you see guys, I stayed here, I pause, and I basically show you the code. You can basically look the code to see how the things goes. You can basically, and now, and those are all the state we check. And all these things basically, because the games is built on local storage, and we have to check a few of things from the start when the game start. And that's why you see all the local storage get item. and and React as well. React is a pretty good framework because it allow you to do so many things that previously, before React, it was so hard to do. But now with React, it's as simple. Just use state and then check in your local storage. Yeah. Yes. Use effect. What is use effect? You can basically on look Google to check what is basically use effect. I'm not here basically to teach you what is basically I'm not here to teach you everything, but I just want to show you that to show you what it is. So you can basically have a glance what I'm talking about. I know you guys, some of you are senior, some of you are beginner, but I just want to emphasize that it's always good to revise when you want. Okay, use effect is like the definition. It is a hook. If you see, it's a React hook that lets you synchronize a component with external system. And if you look the AI definition for it, you will see the use effect hook allow you to perform SAD effect and functional components such as data fetching, subscriptions, or manual DOM manipulation. And what it does is they give you the AI give you usage here, use effect, and it's almost the same thing like in the project. You see what it means? What I check is I check that is there is like uh, a thing that is saved already. If we can get value from history, like we check, I check if there is value that saved in history, and from that particular is there is any data, so I set them up. That means you see, I make sure I watch them. I watch those things, and that is why this is the definition. This is how I could explain it to you. For example, is there is any data, any state that I want to watch for, I want to basically track, and this is the purpose of using use effect. So I hope you guys could understand the explanation. So if you really want, like I did, you can look it up and for yourself and try to learn more about how to work with it, because try this is a tutorial this is a tutorial where I show you how I build a powerful spinner game, positivity spinner, so you can learn inspiring and also see how things is built. And that is the purpose, to see how things is built. And if you have question, you can always keep your question, you can always write your question in the comments, so I will be happy to answer it. And yeah, we keep going. And basically const active will use custom will and color. Okay, this is basically what does that does is basically, for example, when the spinner is already spin, like for the first time it's already spin, the second time, this is something that is very important. If you're a junior programmer, that might be a bit difficult, but as you get used to doing all those kind of difficult thing, you will get used. And what that does is it basically check like if the spinner already spinned, like, and the second time it try to spin, it will basically the wheel will be a bit, it's gonna stay stable. Yeah, this is this is like, I hope if you don't understand it now, it's okay, but that doesn't matter now. It's not spin wheel. Yeah, this is almost the same. Yeah, that is the code basically that helps spin the wheel. And Yeah, I pause you guys. I pause. Listen, I pause here because it's important. And first thing, you create a random index. Like you try to get a random number here. This is very important, guys. Please pay attention. You create a to create a random number. To create a random number, guys, you have to use math.random. And math.floor is basically if you want to the random number that you don't want it to be decimal, so you use like math.floor to round it down. And you you more active will that length. Active will, what is active will? Active will is this one. This is the variable we create previously, and we check the length and you multiply it by it, like active will that length. Okay. And the second, angle per segment. And this code basically, I hopefully this is something that is not that difficult, because you can always, guys, if you don't feel like comfortable to understand some concept, and you can always ask a chatbot or whatever AI system that you are using. You can always ask. You don't have to explain too much. Just try to ask the don't you see what it does is this code basically what it does, guys. I want you to be more professional, more modern. Don't have to take people definition. You can check it for yourself. You see what it does? And it's calculating the angular size of each segment in a wheel or a pie chart. And this is how to basically calculating the angular size of each segment in a wheel or a pie chart. This is not made by me basically. 360, like this is something that you have to understand. That's why I pause here. I let you see the code. I let you see the code to try to understand, because this is, if you are junior developer, you will not be able to do that without have programming skills, because all those things is logical. It require you to thinking as well to make your brain work on, like you have to basically searching as well. One of the most important thing that is very important is the ability for you to search, to ask the right question, when you stop. Make sure you can make sure you spend maybe a few time thinking that, to try to ask the right question, because it really helped. Yeah. Okay, I move on. Random offset. And those things right here as well is, it's a method to do that. And it's always good, guys, to try to think. Maybe there is so many other ways that you can do the same. This is how I did it. So I'm not expecting that you think that this is the only way you can do it. There is other way as well. That's why it's called programming. So many people have done it before, so it's easy to just search. You can, let me give you a tip. You can just ask the chatbot how to spin a wheel using React. You can you can you can ask the chatbot. It will give you basically a similar code. Wait, wait. Now basically this is it gives you just the whole code, but basically this is different, guys. But maybe we I need to. You see what I mean? There's so many way that you see it's the same code, basically the same code. You see what I mean? But it did it the a different way. That's why it's basically the same code right here I had. You see what I mean? Constant to the rotation plus and math that floor length. I hope you guys can have a glance and try to understand this code basically, because it's very important for you to know the concept as well to ask the right question. It's not about try to copy paste the code. Try to understand it. This is the best way. If you can understand it, you can do it. That's the only conclusion about that. If you can understand it, you can do it. And if you're not understand it, there is no way you can do it. Okay. Basically I'm gonna move on to that. And this set time out, I hope if you know JavaScript before you use JavaScript, you know this is basically try to basically working your when you set time out. This is a way to try to understand the time you want your whatever thing, your function, whatever. There is a function, like you can say asynchronous and synchronous way. Set time out usually asynchronous. uh, why? Because it's something that is very it's useful from a good perspective. And if you really want to learn more, like you can just copy it. Sometime sometime it's like it's best for you to learn it by yourself than someone to teach you. You see what I mean? What it says is it helps you schedule the execution of a function after a specified minimum delay. Like I explained, it's a asynchronous JavaScript behavior. Like I explained you, and this is good to do because this is good. If you can learn it by yourself, it always good. You don't have to try to basically get stuck and don't know what to ask. and and I just try to help and try to basically give you the idea of